The most common error that I run across is the misunderstanding of cash and accrual basis accounting. In QuickBooks, if we choose to go to Customers and create an invoice, we are working with an accrual basis, and that invoice needs to have a payment received against it and then deposited into the account. If we're working with a cash accrual, we are going to start with the sales receipt. No need to receive a payment though, because it's already been registered at the time of the transaction. Sales receipts goes directly to record deposit. Without a doubt, this is the most common flaw that I see within QuickBooks. Always be aware that if you are creating an invoice, you must receive a payment. And again, if you're creating a sales receipt, that payment is recorded for you. In this same regard, we will see exactly the same issue on the vendor side. Again, remember, when we are entering a bill, we must pay the bill. However, if we choose to write a check, which is actually in your banking section, it is going to automatically enter and pay the bill in one step. This is the difference between cash and accrual accounting. In accrual accounting, we are going to record the transaction at the time of the bill. That's why we then pay it afterwards. In accrual accounting, it doesn't matter when we actually cash the check to pay the bill. What matters is when did the transaction or event occur. In the cash accounting, on the other hand, we don't really care about the bill until we're actually going to pay it. It's very important to remember those two systems vary within QuickBooks. If I enter a bill and then do not pay that bill, but I write a check instead, you will have two entries rather than one inside of QuickBooks. If you create an invoice and then create a sales receipt for payment, you will again have two separate transactions within QuickBooks. It's very important to remember those as you're going through. Now there's another area where this cash and accrual comes into play also, but in a slightly different manner. If we go up to our banking area and go down to credit cards, the way that QuickBooks established credit cards is that I go in, enter the credit card charges against a balance sheet item that I will then pay from the checkbook. However, many of us will actually prefer to put in our credit card as an accounts payable transaction. Now, if I choose to put my credit card into accounts payable, then I need to handle all of the transactions through Enter Bill and Pay Bill. If, however, I choose to go to banking and enter credit card charges, then I will actually pay these charges by utilizing writing a check. In the case of writing the check, it'll automatically clear the liability account, which is listed on top. If I'm using accounts payable, however, that's utilizing the system of entering a bill and paying a bill. Always review your credit card accounts and make sure that you're consistent on the method and that everyone in your office is also using exactly the same method.